Mysterious figure commands Xi Jinping's guard. Several military leaders reported arrested. Chinese banks in dire straits. Critical alert for mortgage holders by Self Media. Economic downturn. Several leading Chinese companies lay off staff in May. Police extortion of family leads to exposure of terrifying video from residential surveillance location. American lecturer recounts stabbing incident in Jilin Park. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Mysterious figure commands Xi Jinping's guard. Several military leaders reported arrested. On the evening before the 23rd plenary session of the Chinese Communist Party, it was discovered that CCP leader Xi Jinping had subtly altered the senior personnel of his personal guard. On June 6, a military work conference directed by the party was convened in Beijing. State media outlet Beijing TV reported that the meeting was presided over by Zhu Jun, political commissar of the Beijing garrison. This disclosure marks the first public revelation of a change in the political commissar for the garrison. The Beijing garrison, also referred to as the Imperial Guard or Guard, is tasked with the defense of the capital area and includes both elite heavy and swift reaction forces. Given its significance to the CCP, although it is merely a corps-level unit, the positions of commander and political commissar have consistently been filled at the deputy military region level, typically by individuals with the rank of lieutenant general, up until the end of 2019. At that time, Major General Zhang Fandi assumed the role of political commissar of the Beijing garrison, deviating from the tradition of appointing very high-ranking officials. Major General Zhang Fandi has now reached the retirement age of 60. Meanwhile, the new political commissar, Zhu Jun, emerges with a somewhat enigmatic background. Almost no personal information about him can be found in the public domain. His rank of Major General in the Army is inferred solely from the military uniform and shoulder insignia depicted in the broadcast by Beijing TV. According to Hong Kong's Ming Pao, the upcoming CCP's 20th Third Plenum in July has drawn attention to the change in leadership of the garrison. During the military reforms of 2015, control of all provincial military districts or garrison commands was transferred to the CCP Central Military Commission's National Defense Mobilization Department, except for three: the Beijing Garrison, the Xinjiang Military Region, and the Tibet Military Region, which remained under the direct management of the Army, retaining their combat functions and the directive to be always combat ready. Recent years have seen continuous upheaval within the CCP's military ranks. Earlier, Zhao Lanjian, a former Chinese media personality now exiled in the U.S., disclosed on June 6 that an old friend from the military enterprises, whom he hadn't contacted for many years, reached out through special channels 10 days prior. This friend revealed that Xi Jinping is carrying out a thorough and deep cleanse of the military enterprises, groups, and publicly listed companies under the departments of the Central Military Commission dedicated to military industry, which includes aerospace science and industry, aerospace science and technology, ordnance, and military equipment sectors. Investigative teams deployed by the Central Military Commission have arrested several key figures. Some have been driven to end their own lives, while others have been secretly executed. Zhao Lanjian reported that Wang Yanhui, responsible for technological approvals at the Aerospace Science and Technology Group, was killed by the Central Military Commission's investigative team. His death was officially declared as an end of his own life, and his family has refrained from asking further questions. Another individual from the 5th Research Institute of Aerospace Science and Technology was also driven to end his own life. His spouse is a senior expert at the Peking Union Medical College Hospital. The extensive purge of the military by Xi Jinping is perceived as part of the internal conflicts within the upper echelons of the CCP. The direction this will steer the CCP and whether it will compel Xi Jinping to initiate a war abroad is a matter of significant concern. Some analysts believe that one of the reasons Xi is cleansing the military is to set the stage for an invasion of Taiwan, thereby consolidating support for his lifelong leadership. Yuan Hongbing, a Chinese writer based in Australia, has indicated that there are ongoing schemes within the military and among the CCP's second-generation elites to provoke Xi Jinping into launching a war in the Taiwan Strait. Their objective is to seize this crisis as an opportunity to usurp military power and overthrow Xi Jinping through either a political or military coup. Chinese banks in dire straits, critical alert for mortgage holders by self-media. China's real estate market is in freefall, triggering a nationwide surge in mortgage defaults. A self-media video revealed the dire state of the Shenzhen real estate market. A woman commented, "It feels like overnight, the whole market sentiment in Shenzhen has shifted, with everyone seeming to be selling their homes. Many owners prefer to incur losses on their initial payments rather than hold on to their properties." Excluding homes sold at auction, over 100,000 second-hand homes are now listed for sale in Shenzhen, which means about 1 in every 10 homeowners is trying to sell. Previously, the more homes you owned, the wealthier you were considered. Now, the more homes you have, the bigger your problems. She further observed that property prices in popular areas of Shenzhen have drastically fallen, yet the houses remain unsold. As a result, many individuals have simply stopped making mortgage payments and abandoned their properties, forfeiting their down payments and monthly installments. This has led to a significant increase in the number of homes being auctioned by courts each month. The decline in property values has severely reduced assets, and dramatically speaking, it has led to the financial and personal ruin of many. The crisis in real estate is deeply interconnected with the banking and broader financial crises. It is rumored that currently, every bank in China is experiencing high rates of mortgage defaults and loan delinquencies. Banks have shifted their focus from lending to debt collection. If clients with outstanding debts are willing to answer calls and maintain communication, banks are inclined to offer extensions and reduce interest rates. Amid these circumstances, reports from mainland media state that several banks, including Ping An Bank, China Construction Bank, Industrial Bank, and Shanghai Pudong Development Bank, have introduced an interest-first, principal-later loan option. Under this scheme, mortgage clients are allowed to pay only the interest without having to repay the principal for now, with reports suggesting that this could defer principal payments for the first 10 years. This new loan service is now available in major cities like Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Chengdu. Self-media financial analysts suggest that this arrangement highlights key information, confirming the vast number of near-default cases. Banks repossessing properties find themselves unable to offload them, exacerbating the financial system crisis. They argue it might be better to simply allow homeowners to pay interest initially and defer principal payments, though this only delays the inevitable increase in financial pressure on homeowners. Financial experts caution homeowners against being misled. Discontinuing mortgage payments to preserve cash flow is considered the only viable strategy for survival. During the expanded meeting of the Ministry of Public Security's Party Committee on June 5, the agenda included coordinating with other departments to monitor financial risks, focusing on small and medium financial institutions, local government debts, and specifically the real estate sector. Public opinion suggests that the involvement of the Ministry of Public Security in stabilizing the real estate market indicates the government's recognition of an impending crisis. A real estate revolution is beginning to spark, and it could burst into flame depending on how the wind blows. The CCP also sees this as a potential future trigger point. This notion is reinforced by the recent directive from the State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission demanding capital withdrawals, signaling that small and medium financial institutions are about to encounter significant troubles. This suggests that systemic risks are imminent. Economic downturn. Several leading Chinese companies lay off staff in May. China's economic downturn continues, triggering a nationwide wave of unemployment. In May, numerous leading Chinese companies initiated layoffs. Alibaba, in its mid-May financial report, disclosed a reduction of over 14,000 employees. JD.com on May 21 announced 12,000 layoffs. Lenovo Group reported a reduction of 7,500 employees, while Li Auto cut its workforce by 18%, affecting at least 5,600 individuals. FAW Volkswagen's Foshan factory reduced its workforce by nearly 17%. GAC Honda has cut 1,700 jobs. SAP Shanghai also laid off 1,700 people, and Tesla continues to reduce its staff. Wuhan Iron and Steel Group has notably laid off about 290,000 workers. A mainland youth shared his personal experience that it's shocking to see even major factories are now faltering and initiating layoffs. I never imagined that I would be affected. One resident from Zhejiang describes the employment situation in his area as extremely grim, noting that there are many unemployed people now. I, too, am unemployed. The economic situation in the country is very poor. Many places are unable to pay wages. The job environment is deteriorating. The general public is facing tremendous pressure. Meanwhile, another resident from Shaanxi also expressed that the construction industry is dead this year. There's no work available. The real estate sector has left many buildings unfinished, causing severe issues for many. Banks are incessantly calling to collect debts. Moreover, there are many unemployed college graduates who are earning less than migrant workers. This July, 11.79 million college students will graduate nationwide. The internet is abuzz discussing the job prospects for these graduates, who are expected to enter what is termed flexible employment mode, which includes roles like food delivery, courier services, and driving, as well as jobs like security guard, nanny, and cleaner. A mainland blogger reflects on the situation. On one side, over the past 2 years, 460,000 companies have closed down, 3.1 million individual businesses have been deregistered, nearly 800 million people are in debt, and 23 million are unemployed. On the other side, there are over 10 million new graduates seeking employment. The security guards in residential areas are increasingly younger, and even postgraduates are now working as delivery boys. The pool of cheap labor is growing, yet the job opportunities are dwindling. Police extortion of family leads to exposure of terrifying video from residential surveillance location. Recently, a surveillance video from the Designated Residence for Surveillance, referred to as Designated Surveillance, in Yushan County, Shangrao City, Jiangxi Province, has been circulating online. The so-called residential surveillance by the CCP is accused of being a lawless place where human rights are deprived. The date shown in the video is May 26, 2023. In the video, a man is seen squatting in a corner of a room without visible windows or doors, and the walls, including the furniture, are covered in soft padding. A uniformed guard stands with hands on hips, seemingly interrogating the man. The video later shows the man suddenly lifting a small wooden stool over his head and smashing it down on his own lower leg. According to mainland media reports, the man detained in the video is named Chen Lian, an entrepreneur from Poyang County, Shangrao City, Jiangxi Province. He was placed under designated surveillance by the Shangrao City Public Security Bureau in Yushan County on March 7, 2023, on charges of organized crime. Chen Lian's wife explained that the video was sent to her daughter via WeChat by Mao Jun, an auxiliary police officer at Yushan County Public Security Bureau, with the intention of proving to the family that your old man is in my hands in order to extort money from them. The family said that after Chen Lian was placed under designated surveillance, neither family members nor lawyers were able to meet with him, leaving them completely unaware of his condition. It was only upon seeing the footage of Chen Lian that they realized he must have been tortured, prompting them to repeatedly give money to Mao Jun to ensure Chen received care. In August 2023, Chen Lian's brother was also placed under designated surveillance. During this period, he reported to the authorities that Chen Lian's family was being extorted, leading to Mao Jun's arrest. The indictment from the Yushan County Prosecutor's Office stated that Mao Jun extorted a total of 210,000 yuan, about $30,000, in cash and valuable tobacco and alcohol from the family. Mao Jun was initially arrested on charges of extortion but was later changed to fraud at the time of prosecution, and then to charges of bribery and fraud. The indictment states that Chen Lian enticed Mao Jun to contact his family to facilitate internal and external communication. Mao Jun arranged phone calls between him and his family and helped pass messages to Chen Lian and his family, counteracting the scrutiny. However, Chen Lian's wife denies these claims and does not acknowledge that giving Mao Jun valuables was bribery, considering it outright extortion. A mainland legal blogger commented that the surveillance video shows the true interior of a designated surveillance location, with walls padded all around and under strict supervision. If not leaked by someone inside, such absolutely internal footage would be hard to come out. The blogger mentioned that previously, a 47-year-old programmer, Xing Yanjun, suddenly died during designated surveillance, and the family's queries remain unanswered, with the cause of death still a mystery. The blogger stated that officially, designated surveillance is supposed to be a milder form of detention, but in reality, those under designated surveillance are treated worse than those in detention centers, often facing the risk of unprotected supervision. American lecturer recounts stabbing incident in Jilin Park. As previously reported, on June 10, 4 teachers from Cornell College in Iowa were stabbed by a man while visiting Beishan Park in Jilin City. On June 11, David Zabner, an American teacher who was among those stabbed, spoke to the American media about the entire violent incident. He said he was sent to China for an exchange program. This was his second visit to the country. Zabner recounted hearing a scream from behind as they were descending the mountain. He said, "I turned around and saw a man charging at me with a knife. I didn't immediately realize what was happening. I thought one of my colleagues was pushed, and then it seemed like the man with the knife wanted to push me too. Then I looked down at my shoulder and realized I had been stabbed. I was injured and bleeding." Photos and videos of the incident began circulating on Chinese social media sites but were mostly deleted by Chinese censorship. In one photo, Zabner is seen lying on his side, wincing in pain. He mentioned that medical staff arrived about 20 minutes after he was stabbed. In the photo, another teacher can be seen behind him with an injured back. Regarding the perpetrator, Zabner relayed what the local police told them about the case. "The police told us that the man with the knife was unemployed and unlucky, and that someone in our group had bumped into him. Then he decided to respond in his way." On June 11, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs called the stabbing of the 4 Cornell College teachers in Jilin an isolated incident, followed by an announcement from the Jilin City Public Security Bureau that the suspect, surnamed Cui, had been quickly arrested. Since June 10, images and discussions about the attack have been quickly removed. By noon on June 11, after the Chinese government set the narrative, internet censorship was slightly relaxed, and a few comments began to surface. Some Chinese netizens called it a terrible incident, while others questioned why Chinese media had not reported the attack. Amid a backdrop of heightened nationalism and anti-American sentiment by the CCP, some also expressed concerns that the attack could affect China's global image and the willingness of foreigners to travel to China. Following the implementation of the anti-espionage law by the CCP, the U.S. State Department issued a travel warning for mainland China, alerting tourists to be cautious of arbitrary detention and potential obstacles to leaving China, urging Americans to reconsider traveling to mainland China. As a result, some U.S. universities have suspended their programs in China. Don't forget to leave a comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.